Hey up my fantastic numismatic artistic friends, it's MasterTemple here. Are you all doing good? Of course you are, happy days. What we're going to look at, folks, is a selection of coins that I have in my collection that are loosely based around the old flogging or the old 10p. Back in the day, we used to have floggings which will show you look like this. And I've got 13 different states, different countries or territories to show you. With got about 20 coins, I think, maybe a bit more, different varieties. Now, they all share something in common, which is the same size, shape, and weight. So the weight of all these coins is 11.3 grams, and the diameter across there is 28.5 mil. And the thickness is 2.2 mil, and they all have a milled outer rim. Now there's no silvers in this lot. Now this is a 1947. Silver got taken out of coin production around about this time, but the rest of them are just made up of copper nickel. That's their composition. Now towards the end I've got a couple of coins which are slightly different, slightly bigger, and one's slightly smaller, but I thought they'd be pretty neat because they're almost identical. Now this is obviously it's a 2 shilling, it's a florin, and our 10p after decimalisation replaced this, and this is the 10p there. That's the 10p. Because back in the early 90s this got made smaller, but we'll get onto that another day. So it shares the same characteristics. Majority of the coins I'm going to show you today all share the same characteristics of the florin. Now florins or 2 shillings were issued as a coin from 1849 to 1967. And in decimalisation they got replaced by the 10p. Right, so I want to show you some portraits because we've got several different portraits of the monarchs. Now this is King George VI. This is the Queen's dad. Now this is his British portrait, and this was engraved by Thomas Humphrey Paget. We also have another portrait of King George. Just find it. That's this one. Pretty bad state, but this is the crowned. This is the crowned portrait, and the engraver on this one is Percy Metcalfe. So let's have a look at Queen Elizabeth II. She's got several portraits on the go. Right, so the first portrait we will have a look at is the crown portrait, and you usually find these in territories, far-flung places. This crowned portrait, this one's by Cecil Thomas. Very nice, very nice. Early 50s, well mid 50s should I say. So Cecil Thomas did that one. Then we've got the first portrait of the British coins. It's not a cracking example, this one, but it is. Instead of a crown, she's got like a nice, floral sort of crown there, looking very young. So that's the first portrait. The first portrait was engraved by Mary Gillick. The second portrait, let's have a look at the second portrait. It might be a little bit more familiar, the second portrait, if I find it. Come back. That's this one. The second portrait was engraved by Arnold Machin. Got some paint on my finger. And then they've got the third portrait, which we'll probably start to recognise a bit more. This one is engraved by Raphael David McClure. I hope I said that right. And then we've obviously got, there's no fourth and fifth portraits in this, but for all intents and purposes I'll show you the fourth portrait. We know this one, Ian Rank Broadley. There we go. And then we've got Jodie Clark's fifth portrait. Yep, just grab something. There we go. Very similar, but on the fifth portrait you've got more of a neckline and some earrings on the Queen, and obviously a different crown. Anyhow, get off that. Right, so let's start on the coins themselves. So first up, we're going to the Falklands. And the Falklands I've got two Falkland 10p's. Again, they share the same characteristic. The first one is in a pretty grubby state. It's from 1974. There we go. We've got the second portrait there of Queen Elizabeth II. And what we've got on there is a pair of South American sea lions. I'm not even going to attempt to say the Latin for that. But yeah, the southern sea lions, or South American sea lions, or Patagonian sea lions. We see a large bull there and his girlfriend. And these large bull sea lions, they can have around about 15-20 females. Now, excuse me. So his first territory that we're going to go to is the Falklands. Now I've got two coins from the Falklands. They're the same. And what we've got here is a pretty grubby one. We'll get him in focus. There we go. And we've got the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II there. 1974. I'll talk a little bit about this in a minute, but 1974 has a mintage figure of 87,000, so pretty low. Pop him there next to the florin. But the same coin from 1985, this looks like a bunk coin or proof or whatever. Very shiny. Very shiny, not a mark on this one. From 1985, and the mintage on this one is 10,000. It's fairly low. And what we see here is a pair of South American sea lions. We've got a daddy and a mummy sea lion. And these large bull sea lions, they can weigh up to 300 kilo, which is massive, isn't it? Half a ton, thereabouts. And can have up to 15 girlfriends. Yeah, pretty nice coins. And there's a smaller version of this. I'm sure I've seen a smaller version of that. So that's the Falklands. Next up is New Zealand. So this was called the 10p. Same thing, but one florin from 1964. And we've got the kiwi bird on there, the national bird of New Zealand. It's in a pretty grubby state, this. I found most of these in in little shops when we could go out to hunt coins, bottom of a tin or something like that. And we've got the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth there. Same thing, same diameter, same weight. 2 million of those were minted. Right, next up we're going to Cyprus, and I think you've seen this on the channel before. And this is 100 mils. What we have is the ancient galley representing trade to the island. Just there. On the other side we've got Cecil Thomas's design of the Queen. But in 1955 this one was minted. I think they went to 1957, I believe. there's only 2.5 million of these minted, but in the late 60s, 640,000 of these coins were minted down to make the new 10p, the new British 10p. So they were melted down by the Royal Mint. Now let's have a look at the 10p. I've got one here, and this one is heavily toned, but it's not seen circulation. Look at that tone in there, looks pretty off, doesn't it? Getting a bit closer. So of course this replaced the florin. Now this is from 1972, and 1972 is an NIFC year. Look at the toning on that, that's really bad, isn't it? I got this, I think it was something like five coins for a quid or something like that. 5 coins for a quid, which is crazy, isn't it? Yeah, 1972. So the mintage figure on that, the second portrait of the Queen, is 150,000. I also got the 5 pence in the same little tub, and it's in the same condition. Right, next up we're going to Guernsey. Let's get the coins. Just going to Guernsey. I've got a couple of coins from Guernsey. First up, we've got this one, which has got the coat of arms and the lettering on there. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but it basically says the bailiwick of the island of Guernsey, and then we've got the Guernsey milk cow on there. 1977. I think the mintage figure on this is 480,000. Then we've got everybody's favourite, the tomato plant. 1985. This time we've got the Queen's portrait on there, but still with the coat of arms just down behind her head there. 1985, and the mintage figure of these ones is 110,000. So not many of them. It's quite nice. Right, next up, Jersey. I've got 3 coins. They're all the same. They're all the same design. But 2 at 1975 and 1 at 1980. And we've got 3 lions this time, as opposed to, let's get rid of them. We've got 3 lions there, as opposed to, let's get the Guernsey one out. You can see these are leopards, these are lions. If we can get a better focus on this, you can see just about there we've got manes on the lions, and the leopards have just got a nice feline face. So yeah, I've got 3 lions on this one. Second portrait of Queen Elizabeth. Mintage figures for these, right, so 1975 we have got 1,022,000, so which is the 75s, that one and that one. And then for the 1980, 1 million. So pretty good. Pop that there, pop it on top. Right, next up we're going to the Isle of Man. Now we've got a fair few from the Isle of Man. Well, 5. And this one says new pence, and it's got the Triskelion on there. There's all sorts of mint marks on these kind of coins if you take the time to look, and it can offer some rarity in some of these coins. What we've got on this end is the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth, the Triskelion, from 1975. And the mintage of this one is 1.5 million. 1.5 million. And then we've got 1976's version. So it's got the Triskelion, but it's superimposed. It's superimposed on the map of the Isle of Man. Again, second portrait of the Queen. And what we have mintage figure wise for this one is 2.8 million. So quite high. Well, quite high for a small island. That's a belter. Let's get some space sorted out. Right, next up, one of my favourites. Now this is some sort of falcon. It's Gear Falcon, I believe. You can see some Manx Viking banding on there, with the number 10 just to the right of the bird. There's several versions of this with different mint marks, privy crib mint marks, and AA, AB, AC, AD, and all that lot. And the only mintage figure I can find is 25,000, but that's probably one with a rare mint mark and not this one. Now we see a bit of a distressed picture of Her Majesty there. Oh dear, but we'll keep it that way. We'll keep it there. Very similar coin. We've got the from 1985. I think it's the Longton rampant ram. It's not easy for me to say. On an ornamental shield. The engraver of this is Leslie Lindsay. I can't find any mintage figures for this one. And there we have 1985's third portrait of Her Majesty. Very nice, very nice. And then the last one from the Isle of Man. It's kind of a bonkers coin. We've got a globe with the island on it. The island superimposed on the globe with a portcullis and some sort of directional spin of something, star in the middle, and this is to represent this is to represent the finance centre in Douglas. And again, no mintage figures released for this one. See the little Triskelions there. Good stuff. Neat little coin. Right. Next up, Fiji. Let's get to Fiji. And again, it's the same size coin. It's the same size coin as the 10p. Same weight and everything, but this one's a florin, and it's from 1964. And what we've got there is a shield of arms, which divides the date, 1964. The engraver of this is George Kruger Gray, and on this side we've got Cecil Thomas's portrait again. Actually a nice clean version of that portrait there. Mintage figure 200,000. It's pretty low for that one. Right, I think we're off to Oz next, and I've only got really one Australian. I've probably got more somewhere, but this is the one I had to hand. It's a bit grubby, but we keep them that way, don't we? And this is the platypus, and it's 20 cent. 20 cent with the platypus and the water ripples. It looks lovely, doesn't it? 1973, I think that one is. There we go, 1973. It's, apart from it being grubby, it ain't got any like circulation dinks and donks in it. But I like it. And this is one of the coins that was introduced in 1966 for the commencement of their decimal currency, with the iconic platypus by Stuart Devlin, I believe, who engraved this. And the coin has remained in production and in circulation with the same reverse up to the current date. Obviously different portraits of the Queen. Mintage wise for this, 16.6 million, so that's definitely the highest we've got so far. Well, it is, isn't it? If you exclude the florin, which we didn't really count. I will tell you the mintage figure of that at the end. Right, moving on now, Gibraltar. And this is the Moorish castle on the side of the rock, and this is from 1990, putting too many nines in there. Come back. It's scratched and scraped a little bit, and it's got some toning and some muck on it. It's a neat coin, different. Third portrait there. Bit grubby in places. But that's how we find them. No mintage figures for the Gibraltar coin or Gibraltarian coin, because like the Isle of Man and a couple of other territories, they don't release them. Right, I think this is the last one, yes it is, the last one of this size. And it's from St Helena and Ascension. And we've got the second portrait, 1984. And then we've got the lilies, the arum lilies, which is also known as yam. And it's this flower there. It grows wild, and it's common sight all over the territory down there. No mintage figures for this one either. But it's expected to be low because there's only about 60-70 people live there. I'm kidding you. There's more than that, but not many. Right, final two coins. Bear with me, guys. Last two coins. Now these are all obviously the same weight, the same size, the same everything. And if you think about it, we've got pence, we've got florins, we've got mils, we've got the lot, all in there, haven't we? 2 shillings. So the last one, what we've got here is from second to last, is the British Caribbean territories, and this is 50 cents. You can see all these emblems there. I love this. Double-headed os. Well, I don't know what it is actually. It does look grand, doesn't it? Little mountain scene there. Boat. Yeah, very nice coin. Very nice coin from 1955. And it's basically it's the coat of arms of all the areas around. There we've got Cecil Thomas's portrait again, with a mintage figure on this one of 1.5 million, and it's slightly bigger. So its diameter is 30 millimeters and its weight is 13 grams. Thickness is roughly the same. Give or take a fraction. A couple of icons. Right, last coin, one of my favourites, and it's got that distressed look of King George VI, but he's got his crowned cap on, and it's from East Africa, and it's 1 shilling. The size of this one is 27.8 millimeters, and it's got a weight of 7.8 grams on there. Its thickness is slightly thinner. It's 1.6 millimeters. What we see, we've got some mountains in the background. They look like the mountains I paint, don't they? And we've got the lion just under, I don't know if you can see, if it picks it up. It's a wonderful close-up. Just above the one, we have some sort of mint mark. If it's got it. Can't see it. Can't see it. But 1952, it's a grand piece of history, I suppose. Anyhow, that's the lot. I've waffled on a lot, so we've gone around the globe in old style 10p's. Let's get them out of the light. Which one were your favourite, folks? And which ones have you got? You know, have you got any of these? Have you got different ones? I'm sure there's going to be tons and tons and tons of different ones out there. But yeah, it's wonderful stuff, isn't it? Trying to collect all this lot. Now let's tell you the mintage figure for the florin. The 1947 florin that we started it off on is 22.9 million for this one, which is eye-watering, isn't it? But that's the way it goes. Right, we'll leave it there, folks. I've waffled on too much. Until next time, my fantastic friends, do take care. I'll see you all later, and as always, happy days.